Fox Sports 1 senior NFL reporter, and he joins us now. Alex, thanks for joining us on short notice. Fill in the gray area here. What happened with Kyle Shanahan, and what role does Johnny Manziel play?
Well, I think the lack of I know this for a fact. The lack of development of Johnny Manziel cost the quarterback's coach his job, and he is now out. And Doyle Logan has been fired. In the case of Kyle Shanahan, he actually asked for and was granted his release as offensive coordinator. I cannot speak to the texting of Johnny Manziel, the lifestyle of Johnny Manziel. I can tell you this: for Kyle Shanahan, you're getting out while the getting is good, because clearly you're stuck with a lemon at quarterback. I'm not sure how well that's going to proceed in 2015 right now, and I just think that at this point, with changes clearly on the offensive coaching staff, starting with Doyle Logan's, I mean, they are looking to make change, and I think Kyle saw, you know what, I'm a hot commodity for offensive coordinator jobs, a lot of different places. He's interviewing for the head coaching job in Buffalo today. There's a possibility of a reunion with his father, Mike Shanahan, if Mike gets hired as a head coach, and that could lead to the ultimate succession plan where Mike coaches for a couple years and then Kyle takes over for him. So I just feel like Kyle felt he was in a dead-end situation. Let me get out now.
Okay, but did he believe in Johnny Manziel?
I mean, that's a tough question. I can't answer it. I don't know. I don't have the answer for you, Dan, and I apologize, but I do not know. Because
he did great things with RG3, and I thought maybe he saw similar traits with Johnny Manziel.
Well, the work ethic is the issue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you can't – there's only so much you can do. I mean, if a quarterback doesn't want to spend the time working on his craft, spend the time in the weight room, spend their time trying to be the best player they can be, try to be a leader, show up on time, what can Kyle Shanahan do about that? But that also falls on the position coach. You know, a lot of times these position coaches, and Dan, you know this, it's so underrated what these guys do because they're around the players even more than the offensive coordinator. They're the ones that can try to push some buttons, motivate them, help them grow, help them develop. When you saw Johnny Manziel on a football field, did it look like the guy had done anything as far as preparation from the time the training camp happened to when he was put in a game? Well,
No. Not at all. Can you shed any light on these coaching vacancies? I know you talked about Kyle Shanahan. I feel like that's going to be father-son combo platter with the Shanahan somewhere. But Bills, Bears, Jets, Falcons, Raiders, any movement here? And I guess I'm surprised there hasn't been any movement hiring anybody.
Well, when you go through 17 layers of bureaucracy, which is what is happening in the NFL now as far as search firms and talking to 18 different people and trying to whittle down the names, and then I think once the first domino falls, then we're going to start to see other things roll into place. And, you know, you keep hearing Rex Ryan's name associated with the Atlanta Falcons, and I would not be surprised if that happens. Thomas Dimitroff and Scott Pioli are going to remain in the front office. Rex would have a say in personnel, but Thomas would ultimately have decision on the 53-man roster that's going to remain like that. But, you know, also the Falcons having to push some interviews back until the weekend because Arthur Blank's mother passed away. So they're not done interviewing all the candidates. And that's something that's gone on, too, here. People want to talk to Todd Bowles. They want to talk to Terrell Austin and then figure out, okay, the short list from there. But I tell you, once that first domino falls, Dan, you're going to see a lot of hiring in a very, very short period.
What about Seattle? You know, with their offense and defensive coordinators, Quinn and Bevel, are they going to get real opportunities here?
The people I talk to around the league really believe that Dan Quinn will ultimately end up with the New York Jets head coaching job. In fact, I know that he's spoken to some assistants on other teams who are in limbo because their head coaches have been fired, and he's ready to add them to their staff. So that's one of the things. I mean, a lot of these coaching candidates do speak to assistants and say, okay, here are the guys that I'm going to bring in, and this is what we're going to have. As for Darrell Bevell, that was really a strange one with the Raiders. I mean, he talked to Reggie McKenzie, but no Mark Davis when Mark Davis was sitting in on other interviews. I think that shows you the level of interest right now. For whatever reason, you know, Dan Quinn, the hot name, and of course the Seahawks defense doing so well. Darrell Bevell, I don't think getting the respect he deserves for the great job he's done with Russell Wilson and that Seahawks offense.
Alex, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, DP.
All right, Alex Marvez, Fox Sports 1 senior NFL reporter.